Playing this game will make all of your family and friends envious of you. Your overall life fulfillment will increase by at least 76%, guaranteed. And I'll tell you why. It's because Deep Rock Galactic is the best co-op game of all time. Deep Rock Galactic is a game where you play as a group of 4 dwarven miners working on the planet Hoxie's 4, a planet known for having a substantial amount of precious minerals and friendly wildlife. You work for the mining corporation, Deep Rock Galactic, known for their lack of precaution, powerful weapons, and beer, baby! Let's go! Yeah! Essentially, the point of this game is to survive, look good, and get fat stacks. The levels currently consist of 10 distinctive biomes and 8 different mission types, along with 8 secondary missions. These are mixed and matched at random, allowing for a lot of potential combinations, especially considering the fact that every single map is procedurally generated, similar to another lesser-known game that not many people have heard of. Every mission also has the possibility of containing mutators, a positive or negative modification that can heavily alter the experience, such as golden bugs, where every single bug you kill turns into money! Yeah! Low oxygen, where you need to replenish your constantly depleting air supply or you will be forced to use your special ability, Die. Or Haunted Cave, where there is a giant explosive ghost bug that is unkillable and follows you endlessly for the whole mission. What is straight up badonk bonkers is that this is just the levels themselves. The way that you approach and interact with enemies and environment within these levels also have a massive amount of customization. There are 4 classes in total that have 6 weapons each, 2 support tools, and their own set of grenades. The support tools, and especially the weapons, have insane amounts of customizability. The weapons can potentially be altered so much, in fact, that I would argue, instead of 6 weapons for each dwarf, it's a little bit more like 6 billion weapons. I mean, come on, dude! I mean, it's not actually true, but there are a lot of possibilities. What really makes the customization so vast is the matrix cores, which you can start collecting after your character reaches level 25. These range from decent improvements to certain aspects of weapons to completely changing how they function, like the engineer's grenade launcher that can become an actual nuclear bomb that leaves a massive amount of radiative gas. And this is just one out of a whole lot. Now, all this information may seem a little overwhelming, and I haven't even mentioned the enemy variety, perks, hazard levels, cargo crates, lost packs, chunks, cave length and complexity, random boss encounters, machine events, deep dives, and ingredients that can all spice up the levels. But the gameplay at its core is very simple and digestible. There's generally 3 goals throughout every mission. You gotta complete the task, you gotta collect the cool things that you find, and if you can, you should try not to die while you're at it. The massive amount of variety, however, is what allows the game to constantly stay fresh, while the simplicity makes it accessible and keeps it from getting overwhelming. You can actually play this game on your own, and you even get a little cute robot guy to help you out that can be upgraded and customized. However, this game does not truly shine until you get a group of 3 to 4 people and experience the absolute limits of multiplayer! Most team-based games that utilize roles divide them into 3 categories. Tank, which leads and protects the team, DPS, who does most of the damage, and support, who heals and gives other buffs to the team. This is great, as it gives people that aren't necessarily as comfortable with pointing and shooting a possibility of still being super helpful to the team. It lets different skills shine. The problem is balancing. In the case of Overwatch, there are way too many of certain roles and not nearly enough of the others, which essentially forces some players into playing some roles that they might not find that fun, which can further feed into a toxic, unpleasant environment, and that is not enjoyable. Games that don't utilize roles avoid any differences, so everyone can have equal fun and it creates a more focused experience. But it does lead to a little bit less interesting cooperative situations. Hey bro, I'm shooting with my gun. How about you? Yeah, I'm shooting with my gun. How about you, man? Nah, I'm dead right now.
Dude, you're trash. Actual garbage. Straight up dumpster, bro.
Deep Rock, on the other hand, makes every class very useful and very fun. There's also only 4 classes, but they are fine-tuned to perfection. It's more focused because of it. Every class has so much variety in how they function that it creates for a lot more interesting co-op opportunities. There aren't any tanks or healers. Instead, all of the characters are an equal blend of both combat and supportive abilities. The weapons are all super cool and tons of fun. They're so dope. But the main component that creates a very fluid and addictive co-op experience is the support tools.
But that's usually the boring part. I want to shoot some guys.
The weapons all have a ton of personality and are really cool, but the support tools are what really define the classes. They're mainly used for exploration and completing mission objectives. The driller is the guy who has these big ol' spinny metallic arms that go into the ground and can basically just drill a hole wherever the hell he wants. He can mess with the terrain in every single way, go wherever. It's just freedom. It's America coming for that oil. This can be used to create a large variety of pathways and bunkers. Good job digging. What the fuck is this tunnel? What the fuck is this tunnel? And he also has an explosive satchel that can carve out enemies, terrain, and maybe even your teammates. Who knows? That's the fun part. You never know. The engineer comes equipped with a gun that can shoot cheese. This cheese can be used as platforms and also a sort of trampoline and a safe place to jump onto. It's very convenient. Along with this, as he is an engineer, he also has 1 or 2 placeable turrets. And what do? Well, they shoot. The gunner that can shoot a bunch of zip lines that have a ton of utility, both for transporting heavy materials, having a safe space to fight, and getting around collectively as a whole team as opposed to just one person wandering off on their own, which some people tend to do. And also a shield bubble, which is essentially just a get-out-of-jail-free card for any tense situation. And this also ironically makes the gunner the biggest team player. Interesting. And finally we got the scout, which is my boy. He can zip and zoop around like a madman. There is unlimited uses on this bad boy. You don't have to worry about it. Just go wherever you want. It is the best. It is absolutely fantastic. And along with that, he got a little light gun. Shoots big old flares all around to light up the area. Now, this may not seem very useful, but lighting is actually integral to the Deep Rock Galactic experience. It is right in the tagline, actually. There's a lot of really cool lighting effects used in this game. The atmosphere is so thick that you can taste it with your eyeballs. Every character has their own tiny flares for lighting up their surroundings, but they are highly inefficient for larger areas, which is where the scout comes into play. I mean, if you can't see, then what the heck are these bad boys for? The support tools are all great on their own and super fun. If there's something you want to get, it is always possible to do this on your own, no matter which character you're playing. There is though a possibility that it could take a while. Where they most shine though is in how they play together. The way that every ability complements each other is so seamless, and the amount of creative expression it allows for gets me all up in a jiggle. All of the classes can be so incredibly useful, but somehow, absolutely none of them are integral. You can make do with just 2 or 3 characters, or even just 1. It is so absolutely perfectly designed. It is incredible. The support tools can also be slightly customized to match your personal playstyle. However, the fundamental functionality stays completely the same, so it doesn't ruin the synergy between the 4 classes. Also, the music for this game is out of this world. Some of these songs are so insane that my head just explodes. I'm like laying on the floor dying. The songs when you explore these caves are almost ethereal in how ambient and atmospheric they are. It really grounds you into this world with how alien and weird, but at the same time beautiful it is. And when you're being swarmed, some of these quote-unquote battle themes are fucking bonkers, dude. Yo, they go crazy. Sophus and Trolls did an amazing job making the music for this game. They knocked it out of the goddamn park. Also, can we agree that this game looks amazing? The art style is so clean.
And can you believe that this game is only 3 gigabytes large? What? Huh?
Wizardry! This game, on top of everything else that I've praised, also manages to have probably the best community I have ever seen with regards to a video game. In an industry that is so filled with a lack of transparency, fan content of any kind getting completely boned, and just an overall insatiable greed, the developers for Deep Rock Galactic have discovered the long-lost treasure of actually caring. There's a super clear respect from the developers for the community, which is unfortunately quite unusual. They're always completely transparent with how things are going and what they want to do, which is really cool, and as a whole they just really embrace fan content with open arms. Mods are directly incorporated in the game menu. You can just do it. It almost couldn't be easier. Along with this, it isn't uncommon to spot some of the developers commenting on videos about the game. Most crucially though is their content updates. Usually for an online game like this that is constantly getting updated and improved, there will come a point where you will have to pay for these updates in the form of DLC or a season pass, or at the very least incentivize spending money on in-game currency to buy more loot boxes or cosmetics. And Deep Rock Galactic says, get that garbage out of here! Once you have bought the game, everything gameplay related is 100% free. There is even a season pass that is 100% free. There are no loot boxes or microtransactions. Instead of limiting the players that do not have the money to throw around, they simply give the opportunity for people to support them through buying themed cosmetic packs. However, they are completely unnecessary. They are simply there if you want to support the developers so they can keep giving us free content, and along with that getting a little bonus in some cool cosmetics. And they don't shove it down your throats. It's there on the menu screen, and that's it. If you want to support them, you can do that, and that is awesome. I've done that plenty of times. Because this game is amazing, and these developers are so lovely. They seem cool. They seem really cool. I like them! In the case of a normal game, the amount of content you get from purchasing these DLC packs wouldn't really be considered worth it. Despite that, the reviews are super positive. Everybody's just like, these guys deserve it. Because they have a supportive and positive and fantastic community! Which is unusual! For some reason. Unfortunately, we live in a world with Twitter. Which embodies this intense level of animosity and negativity constantly being shoved down our throats. We have to be in disagreement, and we have to hate each other. That's the only way to go about it. But no, it isn't. We can just have a good time. We can be little dwarf guys being goofy and silly, dancing all day. And it's wonderful. We need more of this. We need more. It's really quite lovely, and it also embodies the Danish spirit of hygge, which is also quite fitting considering the developers are Danish.
Romkugler, flæskesteg, brunsovs og kartofler,
Flødeboller, gulerødder, storbæltsbrød!
What really represents this positive energy is the sort of catchphrase that is utilized in the game.
Rock and stone!
It doesn't really mean anything, but that's also kind of the point. It's an easy way to excitedly acknowledge the other players, since there's a dedicated button for it, and it can essentially mean whatever you want it to. And small details like this really accentuates the game's character. The fact that the beers have different silly little effects, along with having specific alcohol levels, is super unnecessary, but it's just such a fun detail. You can even go into a mission while hammered, and it can last up to like several minutes. There's also a lot of fun voice lines. The sound effects and animations have incredible attention to detail. There's a handful of non-hostile creatures that are just there, making the world feel more lived in. And the hub area has a bunch of neat things to play around with, like a barrel basketball game, football, and a jukebox. None of these things needed to be in the game, but they are, and it's this kind of stuff that just makes the game so special.
I love when games make me stop up and go, ooh, what's that? And Deep Rock has that in spades. And because every level is different, I'm always left thinking about how to best go about exploring it. There is no hand-holding, you're always able to find a solution, it's just about your ingenuity. And if you don't want to deal with fighting a crap load of bugs, you can just lower the difficulty and explore everything at your own leisure. And if you want to be absolutely decimated, then you can and will. There's honestly so much more that I could talk about, but I would like to leave some surprises for the people that actually plan to play the game, and I seriously implore you to do so. Deep Rock Galactic earns my official Radamantor seal of approval.